here at Edible Acres, or Okanagan Biodiversity Farm. I have 0.85 acres here. It's a small patch, but we have about 100 different crops in here. One of the things today I'm noticing is it's almost time to pick the raspberries again. We have a nice crop of raspberries. This is our fall raspberry crop. Everybody else's raspberries are done for the year except for ours and a couple other people with these fall bearing crops. So we have a lot of raspberries here. This is our third year in the raspberry patch, so it's really well established. In fact, kind of hard to get around in there. So let's go look at some of the crops here, and I particularly want to show you some of the weeds. Look, right down there, weeds. Kind of hard to see here in the shade. Look at all these dandelions. Dandelions is one of my major weeds. Last year I harvested $900 worth of dandelions from my pathways, from my weeds. I didn't plant any one of them. I just sort of moved around them, cut them back a few times, but this fall I'll be digging a lot of dandelion once again.
Wait. Now, you got dandelions growing out here, and did you just say that you sold $900 worth of dandelions?
Oh yeah, and this year I probably have at least that much again. And again, it's just sort of letting the weeds do their thing. And so I'm going to show you how I utilize weeds as a conscious part of my gardening. And there's a lot of reasons to have weeds in your garden. Some people are embarrassed to have weeds in their garden, but in some of my gardens, I will say, are almost weed-free. But in this particular garden, I'm after a lot of weeds because they help feed the crops, like these raspberries here. So where's all the nutrition coming from? Well, every weed is a solar collector taking sun energy, and they plants pump approximately 50% of their output into the soil to feed the web of life underneath them. So these are putting fuel in the soil to fuel the web of life, which then fertilizes the raspberries. So more weeds in your pathways will feed your crop. Bare dirt will not feed your crop. So besides that, it keeps the ground from getting so compacted from walking on it. And it's also making money in this case with the raspberries. But here's a wild lettuce. And here's a wild verbena. And they're just and here's some wild grasses. I must say I'm not too thrilled with wild grasses, but if you're going to have a lot of weeds, you're probably going to have some grasses. These are a lightweight annual grass. Here's a potentilla. Potentilla is a medicinal, but I don't have a market for this particular weedy type of potentilla. Here's some elecampane. See, it looks like a weed, and it's just a volunteer, but there's a nice sized root under there. It grew itself because over here I have elecampane as a crop, self-seeds, and becomes part of the weeds. So part of my weeds, I have 4 kinds of weeds in the garden. Real weeds that I don't like. I have weeds that I make money on. I have crop plants, herbs, that are become weedy. I have vegetables that have become weedy. I have a huge amount of vegetable weeds. And I have some native plants as weeds. So I have quite a diversity of weeds in here. And so I deliberately increase the amount of useful weeds, you might say, and try to have less of the less useful weeds. Let's find another weed that I like. Here's lamb's quarters. I eat a lot of lamb's quarters in this season, so I like having some lamb's quarters around. Kind of like having quinoa. Same thing with the red root. The red root's a weed that's also an edible. And, just grab this weed down here. Here's Malva neglecta. And I didn't get much of a taproot there. It's a malvaceous family, related to marshmallow. And maybe let's see if we can get one that come up out of the ground. See, there's that nice taproot. This type of weed, this is one of my favorite types of weeds, is that it has a deep taproot that really goes down there, helps decompact the soil, and it doesn't spread. It doesn't have rhizomes that run out, and so it just sprawls on the ground, but it doesn't spread very fast. So I like weeds like that. Taprooted, don't have rhizomes. Like quackgrass is not a weed that I like. So I really work on not having quackgrass. I have a little bit in my garden, but not too much. So it's a constant dance, you might say. Weeds and the gardener dancing together for every